All right. It is Disco Elysium o'clock. It is Thursday. I am very excited for the hot mess that is this video game. No, they have enough threads going on that I want to see what happens with, that I'm just gonna keep pushing through all the bits that make me uncomfortable or feel like I'm from another planet myself. Like, it's one thing to feel like you're a weirdo because Ocelot is a weirdo, but it's another thing entirely to feel like the game developers expect you, the player, to be able to figure out what they're doing, and I can't. But I'm gonna do my best to continue figuring out as we go. So last time was a particularly exciting thing to discover. Fun thing, we're gonna go, well, I guess if we load, we're not gonna be there. We're gonna be, I was investigating something else. I had an interesting moment. So I've told you before, one of the reasons why I built my Ocelot the way I did is because when the player and the character are at odds, that can be frustrating. Like, when you're like, but I can clearly tell that blah, and your character's like, huh, I'm picking my nose and staring at the wall. That can be a bit frustrating. So I built a character that would have my same strengths, and weaknesses, I suppose. But that's obviously not perfect. So I was like, apparently, you can, I guess, pick up this quest about, like, somebody must have driven a car across and like leapt the water thing, the lock. I remember thinking, oh wow, it looks like this and this indicate that, did somebody drive across that? But like, the game didn't give me the beginning of that quest, so okay, that's fine. So whatever skill that depended on, my Ocelot was not equipped for it, either in general or at the time. But even without that, like, I do feel like they dropped enough threads that you can tell really pretty clearly by the time you get to it in the game. You can tell what's going on and what it's building to. Yeah, it feels like visual calculus. That is what I would anticipate for something like that. But I do think that they built to it really nicely, and you can tell something's going on. Your brain's trying to distract you from it, but as the player, you can tell pretty clearly what it is. And so it's like you and Ocelot's brain and Kim are all kind of sort of at odds, trying to figure out how to manage bringing this particular traumatic experience to your character, like, and helping him kind of accept that it happened without it utterly destroying him. And something that I think is worth noting, one of the questions that I have, and there's no chat hat on my head, so this is not a question for you to answer. But one of the questions that I have, kind of like, what happened this weekend to set him off? Because when we first encounter Ocelot, he's waking up from what appears to be a self-destructive alcoholic bender. That seems like the sort of thing that a lot of people might not wake up from. And that's the sort of thing that you can sort of fall into that if it's been building to be a problem, or you can set out and say, I'm going to drink myself to death tonight. And it's not immediately clear which one, like whether this is like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Because something can be like chronic, like ongoing, or acute, like short-term, very intense. And it's not entirely clear. I mean, obviously he's been in a downward spiral for a little while, but it's not quite clear the specific act of self-destruction that led to his near-death experience, drinking too much, right before the game starts. It doesn't it doesn't exactly. Anyway, sorry, I know folks are like trying to say hello and jump in. I'm doing my thing where I'm just kind of, I'm monologuing. So hello and welcome, and I'm happy to see you all. But I'm gonna keep my monologuing because that's how I roll. No, because I've been thinking about this. So it's not immediately clear whether this just happened to be the time that he went too far. Or if there was a particular incident that caused him to start drinking himself to death, this past weekend. And when that is like a self-standing moment, it's much easier or it's still more ambiguous because, like I said, there is there is a universe in which a man who regularly drinks too much just happens to drink way too much one night. But as we begin to piece together the self-destructive behaviors that he engaged in prior to that, and in addition to that, it becomes more clear to me that it's something acute. You can sort of accidentally poison yourself with alcohol and drink too much. You can't really do that driving your car. Like, you can't accidentally drive your car and ramp over a lock and then go like and crash it into the ice and then fail to get it into the water. Like, it could be that if he started drinking and did that he didn't know where he was going and wasn't thinking clearly. But to me, all of that seems like it seems like he was clearly trying to acutely, specifically, actively, consciously destroy himself instead of like a passive state of self-destruction, if that makes sense. And so I assume there must be some sort of an inciting incident for what happened that weekend. And I suppose most likely that is going to get revealed as we start to untangle the events leading up to this. I mean, obviously the two are going to be intertwined because this is a story. So I'm looking forward to finding out more. The part of me that really likes puzzle solving is very excited about having this puzzle in front of me and teasing out more pieces and trying to put them all together and figure it out. The empathic human side of me is kind of dreading seeing just how things went so bad for this fellow. But yeah, so that's very interesting. We have a lot of insight into him as a person. That gives us insight into his specific situation. And I've talked about this at length, so I'll spare you my going into it at length again right now, I think. But the whole fallen hero theory that I was piecing together a bit, that's more information than we had by far. The only other hint we had of a more successful, upstanding, put together version of him was that there's this card, this love letter that's written to a past iteration of him. But now we have evidence that there may have been more to that, than like more of that, and perhaps more long-standing than we thought. because I'm just, if you'll just bear with me just 1 second more, and then we'll dig back into like the game itself. We'll actually load the save less than half an hour into when I'm supposed to be playing. Oh, good job, Lauren. No, so we know that 2 years ago they tried to promote him again and he said no again. And we know that I think 8 years ago was when the photo was taken, and from the outside you couldn't tell that he was coming apart. But he knows that he was beginning to come apart on the inside when that photo was taken 8 years ago. So trying to piece together the timeline of this man's life and when things started going wrong, these are points where I'm like, okay, I can put down some pins. Did you see me remember that though? Aren't you proud of my memory? I'm proud of my memory. Maybe it's getting a little better. Maybe I will not wind up with weird amnesia issues, unlike poor Mr. Ocelot. So I think that just about brings us to where we are now. I think that's what I wanted to say. I didn't have anything clever with my save for this, I don't think. Oh man, I love this song so much though. This is definitely my favorite song in the game. I love it so much. So much. No, I want to do this a cappella, actually. Bye, Prosebuds. We'll see you on the other side when you catch up with the Ocelot saga. Alright. So, journal? Journal! It'd be nice if I had the spatial awareness around my own body to not just slam my hand into my desk when I'm trying to lift my hand up to gesticulate. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world. I too don't have many points in physique. Or motorics. Motorics. Whichever one of those that would be. I guess that's motorics. Well, that's fine. Oh good, there's somebody else who slammed her hand on her desk every single episode. Well, I'm glad it's not just me being uncoordinated and having problems. Anyway, we're gonna probably start streams a lot of the time with the journal, because this reminds me of what I've got going on, because my memory is not trustworthy. Nor is Ocelot's, and the two of us are a mess. But when you have ADHD and memory issues, writing things down is one of the best things you can do. As long as you can remember where they are and remember that they are written down. So like a sticky note on your screen is useful. But fortunately for me, the game automatically does that. And I remember that the journal exists. I do not promise that I will always remember that the journal exists. But then it'll make the little scratchy noise. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I have a journal. Yeah, so I've discarded. Ocelot has not discarded these quests. I have discarded these quests about the boots and the armor pieces. Singing karaoke, we found the tape. We just need to get a boombox and practice so that we can impress Martin Martinez. We're gonna have, it's gonna be a beautiful romance novel moment. It's a rom-com. It's gonna be a rom-com moment. Everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be like a little embarrassing, but in a way that's charming instead of the usual. All right, who made the call reporting the crime? This is gonna take some time, so I won't expect it on the third day. By the way, did you realize I've done like 15 streams per day in this game? It's gotten slightly faster. It went from 17 streams to the first day to 15 streams to the second day. So if that keeps going, eventually we'll be able to like do like multiple days in one stream. Whoa! That's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. The victim's tattoos, I do need to ask people about this. It says you should probably talk to about 2 people. So I suppose I should figure out who I can ask about this. I kind of want to ask Joyce. She won't know. No, Joyce won't know. Why would I ask Joyce? Because Joyce knows so many things, but she's probably not going to know. I should probably ask people who know things about tattoos. She's probably not Joyce. I need to get Joyce's info on the lynching. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't have to play her game anymore. I don't have to scratch her back so she'll scratch mine. Because I have my badge now. So I can prove I'm a cop. Captain twice removed, in fact. Take that, Joyce. Joycerson. But I do want to continue investigating the jam mystery. Mystery jam. I wouldn't eat that. You don't know where it's been. I do want to know who the lady driver is. She sounds like she's friends with my friend here. And she's troubled. My friends, my meddling nose is sniffing. It is sniff, sniff, sniffing. Even if I'm not trying to do Joyce's dirty work for her, there's a person in trouble who I might be able to get through to. I cannot resist. The urge to meddle is so strong. This is why Zagreus and I get along so well. Because Zagreus is the god of meddling. I don't care what they say he's the god of. He's the god of meddling, and that's the best. That's why he's the best. So I'm going to have to keep investigating this regardless of what happens with Joyce. I have not inspected the dead body fully because we put it in a giant ice cream bear freezer, obviously. Yeah, solving mysteries because you like to meddle is it's good. I did stuff a dead body in a giant ice cream bear refrigerator. That happened. It literally happened. If you did not already feel that this game was very surreal, that would have let you know. So I have to locate the halogen watermarks to get my officer profile. I'll do that. I tried calling Alice back about the armor's owner, and they were like, it hasn't been 24 hours, Lauren. Have some patience. It's still in the morning. Call back this afternoon or evening. Fine. Here I need to go talk to Cindy and learn about paint. And then Cindy and I have to create a masterpiece. Morale should be on this far side of the, not this side, but the far side of the wall where my car issue happened. The car incident occurred. So I'll hopefully find him. The Whirling's secret passageways. I have no idea how I'm going to do that. So we'll figure it out. Yeah, catastrophe, that's it. Who put the clothes in the trash? I could ask the most foul-mouthed child. I suppose he might do it too, because he's decided that I am his pig. And honestly, okay, a lot of times I feel like I'm in over my head with Kuno, but this is a kid who hates his life and escapes by reading. And I'll be like, hey kid, you want to help solve a mystery? You want to be a detective? He'll give me a hard time for it. But he will, I think, actually cooperate on that one. He'll say a lot of really awful stuff first that I don't really want to get through. But I think I might be able to get information from him. Yeah. No, but see, the thing is, this is not asking him to rat somebody out, maybe. This is like, this is your turf, man. Surely you know who's messing around out here. Come on. Who's interfering with your stuff? It's not you, clearly. It's definitely not you. You wouldn't do that. You don't have to root around in the trash. Certainly not. Yeah. He likes to read. I can get him with that. I could maybe buy a book and bribe him with it. That might be fun. Just like start collecting books and then give them all to Kuno when I'm done with them. I like that. I think we should do that. I think we should get by the time this game is over, I want to buy Kuno a book. Be a good influence on him. I have to be careful about which book I give him though. Shape his impressionable young mind. Anyway, and then I do have to send the victim's body to processing eventually. But in the meantime, it's in the refrigerator. So we're good. It's all good. Locate halogen watermarks. But don't I have... Isn't that... I feel like... Not that one. Am I wearing it? No, this is it. The RCM commander's jacket. Like, doesn't this have... Look at those. They're right that. Do I have to scan it? Maybe I have to scan it. Okay, so we got one on the shoulder and one on the back, and they're pretty little. When we put this on... No, that's the wrong button. Okay, they're roughly... This one looks like... It looks like... Okay, hold on. Notice how crisp the edges are here? That these... This looks like this is like a properly applied rectangle with the information in it. I guess it's probably like painted or pressed or something on it. But like we come here. That is not the case. The rectangle isn't properly a rectangle. It's kind of askew from the collar. This entire right side is smudged, you know? Like, it's really fantastic. And it looks like, actually it looks like they copy pasted the same design on here because this one also has some issues on the right side. Let's see. It's not just that it's more worn. I think it's worse applied. We look here and this is not, oh wait, no it is. So we've got one on this shoulder here. We don't have one on the back. But we have these ones. Maybe these ones on the shoulders here contain the same amount of information. Maybe this is for if you, maybe this is like somebody making a statement stylishly. And then this one right here, this is a patrol cloak. Once again, you'll see this is a crisp rectangle. It does look a little bit more worn. No, let me remember or forget things on my own. We'll get there. We're dealing with my memory. If I wanna be reminded of stuff, I will put on my hat and ask you. Because I, like Ocelot, have clothing that indicates. In this case, I am requesting skill intervention. You folks get to be encyclopedia, or whichever skill is appropriate, but I think encyclopedia is probably the only one you can have. It could be esprit de corps depending on what the information that I'm looking for is. The chat hat. Yeah, well no, just but seriously, this is standard issue. This is standard issue. This is not standard issue, and you can tell. This looks like this man took an iron and the like fixing stuff and like went like this to attach it. It really does. Like, it's not just that it's worn. It looks like it's badly done. Yes, perhaps iron while hungover. That could happen. It could happen. So that's interesting. It's interesting stuff. Why do I have this fancy shirt? What is this fancy shirt? Oh, it used to be fancy. Oh, now it's not actually fancy. No, it's interesting, actually, saying it used to be fancy, it used to catch the light. I wonder... Like, this would have been part of his normal uniform. This would have been like his, like, I am a classy commander. With my classy commander shirt and my classy commander jacket. Like... Once upon a time... We'll need to get some good pants and a proper tie. But the friendship hat has to stay. Once upon a time, I think this was a look that this man had. If we were to look at his badge, is that items? Interact? Ah, there it is. Yeah. You can see it, can't you? I'm pretty sure that, I mean, he has a proper bow tie there, but I'm pretty sure it's this shirt and that jacket. You know? Once upon a time, this man cared about how he dressed. Yes, a younger version of you, already disintegrating inside, but still presentable on the outside. Yeah, no, it's a proper tie. It's not a bow tie. It's a normal tie. It's not the crazy tie that he's wearing here. Like this horrific necktie is not what he was wearing. Yes. Look, okay, the gardening gloves. I don't know, why am I wearing the gardening gloves again? What do they give me? Interfacing. I think I might still be wearing them from when I... What's Half-Light do again? I did. I found the badge. It's very exciting. And now I'm sleuthing out. I'm pretty sure that if I can get a proper necktie, I'm pretty sure that I will have the look. Except I have a friendship cap because I'm very cool. Look at my hat. My hat. That's why my encyclopedia is so good. I like thrifting. Okay. Half-Light is fight or flight. Okay. Well, hopefully we won't need that. We're gonna... Factorial time complexity. Thank you for subscribing, friend. We'll hopefully we're not gonna need fight or flight. Hopefully all we're gonna need is our quick wits, our big heart, and our sharp tongue. Oh, that's right. I was gonna level up last time, wasn't I? That's what I was gonna start tonight's stream with. Oh shoot, I got distracted by clothing. Which is, I mean, to be fair, like, the clothing is exciting now that it has plot significance. Now that I'm like, I can deduce this about my character and his taste and his style and his history based on these articles of clothing, etc. It's very exciting. So I'm very excited about that. I do want to get more clothing for Ocelot. By the way, if anyone has never been thrifting and you don't feel like you have a strong sense of personal style, especially if you're working through some sort of like gender expression or identity issues or something like that, may I recommend thrifting as one of the most valuable ways of figuring out what you like and don't like, and what you like and don't like on yourself. And you just like try on a million things. Thrifting it was a hobby of mine. I have to be more careful about it now that I live in a big city with a bed bug problem. But Texas has sprawl instead of concentration, so you don't have to worry about bed bugs. So you can go thrifting to your heart's content. Yeah, no, thrifting is really great for well, depending on where you live. Some places I think are less comfortable for you to be shopping outside of your like designated gender shopping and trying things on there. But thrift stores are a lot less likely to care about that, in my experience, than an average store, so I really like it. Is our bot down? Did the bot go down? Do I have to turn the bot back on? No, I think we changed, I don't know. Oh no, the bot's down! Give me just a second. Okay. Nope. We're going to do the cloud bot. We're going to turn the bot on. Give me just a second. Wait. I think I might actually have to make my computer less tired and sad too. I'm sorry, folks. I should probably do this at the start of stream, but that would require being coordinated and remembering things. What's the likelihood of that happening? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, no, we are. Okay, the computer is actually doing all right. Okay, that's good. Okay, we're going to log in. No, that's not right. No, just log in. Yes, just log in. Okay, now turn on the bot. All I want is CloudBot so that we can have all I care about is my quotes. I'm very sad if I don't have them. I'm sorry. How are you all? What am I missing in chat? Oh. Kyle Reese. What did Kyle Reese do to do with this? Other than being totally rad and making Terminator one of my favorite love stories. Which apparently is not what most people get out of that movie. Okay, CloudBot is now on. Okay. The bot should be here. We should be good. Terminator is a love story! No, it totally is! As much as they, like, meet and get to know each other over the course of the movie, like, it's actually one of the most plausible. Like, I totally can believe these people wind up falling in love with each other in a short amount of time because they have so much chemistry and they get each other. No, it's fantastic. It's a love story. If you haven't watched it, I won't say more. But it is. It actually is. And some of the cut scenes, like the scenes that got cut, kind of go into some character development more. No, he does not become his own dad. Although you might have seen something parodying Terminator that would do that. Anyway, I won't spoil the plot of Terminator from the 1980s for you, but you should watch it. I love it very much. Okay, what was I doing? I was doing something. I was listening to that. I was going to level up, wasn't I? You have a bot now, by the way. You can make the bot do things. No, seriously, it is. It is. It totally is. And I love the characters so much. So the thing is that Terminator is from an era where there was science fiction horror as like a really common popular thing. And so there was like kind of this like spectrum of the amount of horror that goes into your science fiction. And Terminator is much lower on the amount of horror than, say, Alien or a number of the other movies from that era. But it does have the setup of you're being pursued by an ultimate enemy that will kill you horribly, and there's nothing you can do about it, which is common to horror stories, and I agree with that. I haven't seen the second one in a very long time, and I don't know that I've ever seen any of the rest of them, including the TV show. Alien I have not watched. I've just seen select scenes. That is too much horror for me. Like, Terminator doesn't have a scene that they decided not to tell the team about because they wanted to have the people involved be genuinely horrified enough to make you feel how horrified they were. It's not as much horror as Alien. Okay, so I've maxed out how many points I can put in reaction speed, so I don't get to do any more of that. Yeah, no, I absolutely believe that Alien is really good. I just can't watch it because I am a sensitive being. Hey, they're making a Murderbot TV show, apparently. I'm very excited about it. Despite the name, Murderbot is actually about a robot that has feelings and doesn't want to have feelings. Robot isn't quite the right word for it, but anyway, Murderbot is like my favorite thing I've read in a very, very long time. And there's a new book, and you better not spoil it for me because I asked for it for Christmas. And I'm so excited about it. So nobody spoil the new Murderbot book for me. Kroner's told me it's very good and that I, in particular, am going to love it, which makes me think that maybe we're going to have a rebellion against an evil empire. Or some really high-quality sass. But, like, that goes without saying because it's Murderbot, so it's full of sass. Like, if I can recommend anything to you, I recommend that you read Murderbot by Martha Wells. It's really good. Let's see. Which one of the Alien movies is the one with the cat? Do I want to put a point into anything here? No, I want to put a point into Shivers and I can't. Boo. Do I want to put any points into any of these? Hand-eye coordination. Not if I'm being Ocelot match my personal skill set. As we saw earlier. Oh, the cat's in both. Okay. I just know there's a cat. See, like, perception's really interesting. I'm interested in this. Cool for fine detail detectives, sensualists, urban scavengers. Oh, does that mean I'll get better at finding things to put in my recycling bucket? Yes! I will be so effective at recycling! I will make all the money gathering all the bottles. Let's see. Perception wants you to be open to the world with eyes, ears, and nose working at full capacity. Nose. They're like, by the way, this game would smell really bad. You should be glad you're not here. It enables you to take in what others don't notice. The little wad of bills hid away in the sugar bowl, the odor of a perp hiding beneath the floorboards, the gulp of a suspect after claiming they've nothing to hide. At high levels, perception takes in every final detail of the physical world, enough to overwhelm all but the strongest mind, which, spoilers, Ocelot does not have. However, with low levels, you're going to miss out on everything. After all, you can't arrest what you can't see, hear, or smell. I need a point in perception. I need a point in perception. I have decided I need a point in perception. We'll work on it from here. Other things in the running. Always putting a point in volition is great, and I wouldn't mind having another point. I don't need another point in rhetoric. I've started yelling at rhetoric. Rhetoric and I have argued, which probably means that I should sit on it for a little while. Visual calculus has been handy. Conceptualization, I think, is the one that I need in order to write poetry. Which is great. And I do really want to impress this new friend of mine. However, maybe I'll get some clothes for that. But I think perception is something I'm going to want to have just, like, around. Like, conceptualization is like I put on my thinking cap and write poetry. Like, okay, this is my poetry dress, you know? Like, that would be great. But I don't know that I feel that I need to have conceptualization come with me all the time. Like, being able to turn it on and off is fine. Perception, I think I would like to always have. So let's do that. Okay, is this? All right. Perception. Why is my perception able to be so big? I can put 6 points in it. That's so many points. I think I'm going to have to try to get it up to a higher amount, though. We'll see what happens. Okay, that's a thought. All right. Well, we're going to go with some perception and hopefully pick up on some more useful things. Because I feel like perception plus empathy is going to be like perception, empathy, rhetoric, and reaction speed. I think there's like, there's a word for this. Synergy there that I think could be useful for the kind of cop that I am, in addition to being a sorry cop. So we're going to do that. Okay, perception. I am more perceptive. All right. Don't worry, Tommy. I'm not going to mess with your friend. I mean, I'm going to mess with things. Do I want to go show my badge? Do I want to go show my badge? Do I want to talk to these people some more? I Like, no. No, I don't. I don't want to talk to. He's not even the biggest racist. You know? You're not even the best at being a racist. You just kind of suck at everything, including being a racist. He is a driver, so I do have to talk to him. Let's see what's inside here. I'm dressed like a real professional cop. Yes, yes, we've already gone behind Kim's back. Alright, do I have anything to unload in here? I don't know that I do.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Insert your bottles.
Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
Yay! I got 10 cents. Amazing. I did great. I did so well. Okay, anyway. I'll put that away. I have my... I love that it gives you Inland Empire and empathy and loses authority. Like, it's just like everything about it is just everything that I want. Like, truly this ledger is the best item in the game. But I imagine for different playthroughs it would be a different experience. Okay, so we're supposed to talk to the racist guy. And I think there's one more. Because I think this is the racist guy's racist truck. I think we looked at it and it was racist. This music sounds like a boss fight.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
I think that was his racist mobile. Otherwise, there's the long hauls and the pale driver. I already asked her, so I guess we're gonna have to go talk to a racist. Darn. I want the game brass to cover this song. All right. All right. Buckle up, folks. Hold on. I have to make sure that I'm fine with how I'm dressed. I have to dress for battle. Oh, my visual calculus is gonna go up if I'm wearing this. Okay. Shivers is good. Suggestion. No thanks. Well, visual calculus, shivers. What do I want to be wearing to go yell at a racist? Well, what do my gloves do interfacing? We'll do this. I don't know what this does. I don't remember. What is half-light again? Fight or flight. Threaten people. Nah. If you mean I should put authority on, I'm not gonna. You can put your authority away. I don't want it. Okay, my drama goes down. My visual calculus is already going up. Do I want esprit de corps? Oh, I have a poet shirt already. Okay, I can put that on and go try to poem at... Can I want to sell. I'm going to sell the racist stuff. I don't want the racist stuff. You can sell things in this game. So I might just sell the clothes that I don't want to have around. Shivers, visual calculus. Suggestion go up, suggestion go down. Conceptualization, suggestion. I am on day 3. Yes, it's very exciting. Day 3 got off to a very exciting start. And now I'm trying to figure out how to dress to talk to a racist. Do I want to be I guess I'm gonna have to be Copley. Any of these are Copley. This one is not Copley. Look at that. Let's see. What do I want to wear? Yeah, you can see my fancy jacket. That's how you can tell I'm on day 3. I guess I should probably put in the title. This is day 3. Of my stream, I mean. I don't know what I'm gonna wear yelling at this guy. Because I could make it so that I don't have as much decrease in authority, but I hate authority, so we're not gonna do that. Yes, we didn't receive the case of the traffic hooligan, but we did in fact solve it. I want to be able to. I think suggestion might be good, which would mean that I have to change out of my shirt. There we go. I'm very cool. Nobody will know what I'm wearing under the shirt or under the jacket, but I do. Okay. I think we're about as ready for racists as we're gonna get. Yeah. I don't know if this is gonna go very well. I can do it. Thing is, I feel like empathy will let me read him better. And like, my authority is 5 now. I don't like that. Now it's the same amount as encyclopedia. Then again, it might let me yell at the racist, which would be satisfying. So conflicted. Well, let's go for it. Let's go yell at a racist. Are you ready to yell at a racist? We're gonna do it. We're gonna yell at the racist. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Alright.
Looking for something?
The lorry driver recognizes you.
You could push him by asking him to show you the soles of his boots. He definitely looks like someone capable of a lynching.
You did not wait like 2 seconds before showing your grumpy, unwelcome face, authority. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Yes, no. I know, like, well, authority is like, you won't let me out. God damn it, Lauren. Urgh, fine. And then it just explodes forward. And I'm like, okay, fine. I did ask for this. I don't remember what the argument that that number 2 is about. Oh, was that him talking to Kim? Is that why argument? I mean, it's not actually in quotes, but do I want to see his boots? I feel like I should sell that mug or throw it away. Well, let's see the sole of his boots. Sure. Why not? We'll indulge authority. Let me see the soles of your boots.
Been admiring the stompers, huh? Sure thing. Check them out.
He lifts his left foot, then the right. Oh, wow. Look at
On
the
the
sole.
bottom of the man's boots, you see an intricate tangle of treads with no immediately discernible pattern.
What's up with your soles? Huh, that's weird.
It's Revachol.
Okay, I have a yes or no question. Can I ask both of these questions or only one? This sort of thing enables me to spend slightly less time. The hat is how you know that you were actually able to answer. Only one. Okay. Does anybody know? Did nobody else do this? No! Nobody knows! I still have to be indecisive on my own. Dreadful. Okay. No, that's fair. Nobody remembers. Okay, fine. I want to know where you got boots like that, but I'm afraid that they might be racism boots, and I don't want to have racism boots. I know that the usual process is to start at the top and go down, but if you only have two questions, like, if there's only two, then sometimes that means that you only get to pick one. Well, they could be! Like, it could be that he has racism boots. Look. There's, like, secret signals that people in subcultures have to indicate to one another that they are part of the same community. And in the case of, like, white supremacists and stuff like that, apparently they have, like, places that specifically cater to selling them this stuff. Like, I'd like to know both of these things because I'm interested. There might be more to it than that. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is it may be that, like, he sees somebody else with the same kind of boots and they're like, oh, I get it. You're like me. You know? That's, that would be my guess. Yeah, it's part of why if you are admiring, for example, a piece of jewelry and there is a symbol on it that you don't know, you should probably look into making sure you know exactly what that symbol is before you wear it or buy it. Because you can, purely based on aesthetics, think a thing is cool looking, but it can have a meaning. And a lot of times that meaning may not be something you wish to express. So do be cautious. This has been your warning. Don't accidentally wind up with, like, white supremacist symbols. I think some of that stuff is very clear, but some of it's not. Because I've seen people talking about it, and I'm like, oh, I would have had no idea. Cool. Oh, yeah, Serious Inc. My roommate and I were watching one of those shows. And we had a couple of times where we weren't sure, is this a white supremacist or a LARPer? Yeah, that was always fun. I have not watched much Seinfeld, no. I don't really do comedies. I'm sorry. I watched a few episodes and was like, oh, this is not for me. It's fine. Sorry. I have to say something to this racist man. What's the deal with airline food? Is that a question that they ask on Seinfeld? Is that why that came up during this conversation? That feels like something that Jerry Seinfeld would say in his stand-up comedy section of the show. Okay. All right. I followed the vibe and the context, despite not having the relevant information. See, this is rhetoric instead of encyclopedia. Do you ever find yourselves sitting there and thinking like, I need this skill or something like that in your like everyday life now that you've played this game? Like, I feel like we should all put together character sheets for ourselves. I hope there's a template for that. There's gotta be. Oh man. Oh good. Well, I'm glad to know that we're all doing that. It's a convenient shorthand. I already use a lot of D&D and related style analogies to explain things. Well, you may not be able to re-roll, but you can certainly affect where you put points going forward. Where did you get boots like that? But why? I really want to know about the why. If I only get one question. But why?
For when the invasion comes, the last thing they'll see before the lights go out is illustrious Revachol.
Okay, I figured that they were racist boots somehow, but somehow I didn't consider that particular. Well, I wasn't wrong. They are, in fact, racist boots. Cool. Wonderful.
It doesn't look like the lieutenant cares. He just makes a little note.
Okay, all right. Oh yeah, no, I knew he was going to be racist. I just for some reason thought it would be a different kind of racism. I don't know. Huh. All right. Welcome to Revachol. I like it. No, thank you. I think I will not support the racist man's racism. So I can either stick up for immigrants and call this man out on his racism, or essentially tell him he's stupid. That's what 2 is. 2 is you're a racist, and 3 is you're dumb. Either way, I get to try to make this man feel bad. Oh man. You do understand you're stomping on Revachol every day, don't you?
No, it's not like that. You don't get it. It's when I kick them, you know? Oh, fuck it. It's too complex for you.
Do you understand the implications of when I kick them? When I kick them? Do you know what them is standing for in that sentence? Oh my god. This man is really shitty. Okay. I want to stomp on him. I need to get some boots. So I can stomp on him. Just step on his foot really hard. Get some steel-toed boots and just kick him in the shin. Not, maybe not productive, okay, but... All right. Well, you have racism boots and you suck. I don't have any boots yet myself. Yeah, Authority would be really excited if I kicked this man. I know you've been giving me the runaround. Fess up, where's the lady driver? Let's see what horrible thing this guy says. If he's going to be racist about her or what.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He smirks. First, you knew Sealang didn't do it. Or, then why are you smirking? Or, just tell me which one's her Lorry. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna... First, you knew Sealang didn't do it.
He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another lorryman's job. You should be thankful for the tip.
He grins, a wide smile. God, you just suck so much. You're not even, like, original in your shit. See, it sucks because that's the sort of garbage thing that people actually say. They're stealing our jobs. Which jobs? Which jobs are they stealing from you?
He's been expecting this. He's really puffed himself up.
Authority is so excited about this. And the temptation to just kick him in the shins is high. Then why are you smirking?
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
So who does? You?
No. He means la puta madre.
Wait, do we have like actual organized crime? In addition to the organized, not technically crime? Amazing.
A legendary, and not in a good way, crime boss from Jamrock controls what is probably the most powerful organized crime outfit in Revachol West.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's Mother. I feel like this is a curse word of some sort, but I might be confusing it with something else. Or is it the equivalent of a certain phrase in English that okay. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay, so it's not quite the same. Not quite the same connotation. Okay. That's interesting. I'm curious about the gender of this crime boss. Implicit in that name, anyway. Okay. Crime boss from Jamrock. Yeah, Jamrock. Wait. Isn't Jamrock where I'm from? Isn't Jamrock where Ocelot is from? Isn't that where his patrol is? That's why it's the Jamrock Shuffle? Jamrock is part of his district, region, precinct. Oh, I might have had encounters with this organization. Oh dear. That's the sort of thing you want to know about if you've had encounters with organized crime. Like, you don't want to have forgotten about that. That's dangerous. Like, at least the organized not actually crime here, I literally had not encountered that man before. I'd encountered his goons, apparently, because I encountered lots of people and everyone is his goon. But it's not like he's like, well, we were hanging out last week, what do you mean? But, like, if I've, like, had a run-in with the mob's gonna know about it. And I'm not gonna know about it. And that's bad news for me. That's bad news for me, Mr. Ocelot. You were at one point, presumably, signs point to, evidence indicates you were a very competent policeman in the toughest precinct in the Isola? Oh gosh, they really are throwing me with words. With other legendary cops on the force with you. And there's a legendary crime boss in your precinct. What are the odds? What are the odds that he's not stepped on their toes in some capacity? He's not just some random cop who's been an alcoholic, do nothing for his whole career. We now know at this point they tried to make him captain twice. You can't be captain of the precinct with the big organized crime boss in it and not have had a run-in. Mark my words. Something's gonna go wrong because of this. It might not. It might not. They might just be throwing it out there for world building. It could just be flavor. Like putting sprinkled pepper flakes on your pizza. It's not that Ocelot's getting us into this so much as we are in this and Ocelot is not prepared to prepare me. Well, it's okay, Ocelot. I'm gonna be super cautious about this now. I just like piecing things together, and I like saying random bits of story ideas that I see that I would be interested in writing if it were my story. Because sometimes they come back, and it's very exciting and satisfying, and sometimes I just know that people in the spoiler chat are like, where the fuck did she get what? Or what? No! So it's fun. Either way, we have fun. Either you're like, oh, she observed a thing, or you're just like, and it's satisfying for me and you anyway. So yeah, no, I call it mini golfing. That is correct. I don't know if it even counts as mini golfing to be like, I am a cop in the cop game and just learned about organized crime in my district. These things will never come up again.
Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this.
All right, Spirit Core, I will put my faith in Kim.
Yeah, him.
Him. All right, I'm gonna let him handle this. I'll cross my arms and nod. I'm not gonna take over from Kim again, and I'm not gonna reveal my ignorance. Cross your arms and nod.
Then I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
I don't know what Kim's up to, but I'm really excited. I'm gonna back him up as best I can.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. He's unsure where this is leading, which his voice actor actually carries that little, like, uncertainty into his dialogue. Well done, actor.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts.
Oh my god, Kim, I love you, Kim. He gets closer to this guy. Oh my god, Kim, I love you. So we can either say, wait, are we? No, we're not gonna say that. We're gonna let Kim do this. We're gonna let Kim scare this man. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Say nothing.
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
Are you sure? Do you really want to stake your life on that, sir?
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peony's job to find out who that is.
Oh, beautiful, Kim. Beautiful. He's really doing well. Of course we would never admit. Of course we would never work for the mob, but if we did, it would make sense for us to be investigating this thing just like we're investigating it right now, right? Right? Whew. Amazing.
It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief.
No, he is totally using drama. Because, like, he's not just saying it in the way that Kim would say this. If Kim were trying to just be like, we could be, we might be trouble, you don't know that, but he was like having his Kim persona, but like, he's being threatening. He's channeling his anger at this man's racism to give him a boost to drama. He's getting a +1 at least right there.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorrymen and Carters Guild.
All right. Padre Madre. You're right. That is Father Mother. That's interesting. His eyes dart between you and the lieutenant. See, that's giving away the fact that he's actually nervous. He is actually scared of us. Okay, the Lorrymen and Carters Guild. All right, that's another union. But how do you know your union hasn't been infiltrated? You just said they're in all the unions.
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild protect him?
Oh my god. Remind me not to cross Kim Kitsuragi. I don't think that would be good on multiple levels. He's great. The writers had a lot of fun with this scene.
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
He tries to light a fresh cigarette, but his hands are shaking now. The sentence simply ends. Oh my god, Kim. You're gonna make this man wet himself.
The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod.
Okay, now it's my turn. Alright. Alright, Ocelot, let's do our best. We can't let him down, not after a performance like that. I mean, damn.
I've softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job.
Mechanics question. Sorry, the hat comes out mostly for things like this that are mostly inconsequential. Can I leave, change my clothes, and come back and do this? Because I can gear up for this. Alright, we're gonna do that. Are you ready? Okay, let's take a look at what we got. Okay, so I have my gloves that give me half light, but this gives me a half light negative. Which jacket do I want to wear to scare this man? Slowly put on your intimidating clothes and let him sweat while you're doing it. It is a really great mental image. Please don't tell me what to do. Why would I go to Sealang at this point? I have no reason to do that. That sounds like potentially backseating. It's okay. I know you don't mean well, or that you don't mean any harm, but I am just trying to play the game myself. That means that there will be opportunities and things that I will do wrong. And that's just how it is. Do I want visual calculus or shivers? Visual calculus. To be fair, this is more intimidating. They would both be fairly intimidating, but I think this is more intimidating. Says I'm a high-ranking cop. Not that you know that. Well, I don't want to damage it, though. You work so hard to take good care of it. We can put that on. Physical instrument is... I need to punch him. The commander's jacket definitely looks cooler. It's very cool. This is definitely like, this is your like, your high-level clothes. Yeah, I mean, like, this is just like, I'm just gonna kick your ass. Hi, Chancellor Wiggles. That's a great name. Welcome. We're gearing up. We're gearing up to try to take on this man. I don't have any other pants. Defeat racism with the power of smelly laundry. Just like dump him in a laundry bucket. Huh. I think having esprit de corps is very useful at this point. Especially because of Kim. Alright. Well, I'm not very... Like, he's not very cool looking right now, but... We have... Half-light. I'm not very good at it. I guess it's a physique thing. Well, let's give it a try. Let's save. Okay? Resolution Plays and I are on the same page here.
Looking for something?
Alright, we have even odds. Hey, look at that! Why? Oh, they're my cop dice. Why do my cop dice let me be more intimidating? I don't know. But they're my cop dice. I'm glad I have those cop dice. Oh, he saw me snooping in the cabin. Well, we're probably not gonna get it. But I've gotten weird rolls before, so let's see. See how this goes. Yeah, the cop dice want to fight racism. Good. Oh my god, I got a piece of cop propaganda in the mail today. It was amazing. Oh man. Yes, propaganda. Alright, let's go for it. No, it did not come with dice. That would have been better. No, it was just telling me that I should go yell at my politicians to make sure that they fund the cops more, because the reason why the cops can't do their job is because there's too many people in the city and not enough cops. Bye, Oofus. Have a good rest of your evening. Yeah, authorities like, I know how you feel about authority, Lauren, so I'm going to mess with you in real life. And I'm like, damn it. Alright, let's see how well we do.
Men like this only respect two things: strength and fear.
We got it. Oh! Oh, I just looked at my dialogue. did not even register my dialogue. Oh. Show me her lorry right fucking now. The lady driver's lorry, where is it? All caps. Question, exclamation. All right. That's great. Like, that's such effectively written dialogue. Knowing that there's not going to be an actor to deliver it, they have to make sure that the writing itself conveys everything they want to, and they succeed.
Fuck you. I told you. I'm not gonna...
Like, grabbed him.
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Okay. Cool for high-strung investigators, shoot now, ask questions later cops, surprise haters. Half-light is your fight-or-flight response. It enables you to sense the way situations are about to turn. It injects palpable fear into your heart, fear that urges you to act before it's too late to act ever again, fear that makes you frighten others. It is the aggression that lets you squeeze every last drop of information out of a witness. At high levels, Half-Light makes you ultra-attuned to the world. It is perpetual fear of your own shadow, of someone else's name or scent. You'll be ready always to pounce and physically interrogate passersby. At low levels, however, you'll find your survival instinct is lacking and your methods limp-wristed. Those who respect violence will not respect you. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if Half-Light is always like this. But these sure are some responses we have, isn't that right? All right. So, the second option is clearly intimidating him based on his racism. However, not only is it using a racial slur in universe, which I frankly cannot bring myself to say, but additionally, the threat of sexual assault is not something I can get behind as a joke or as a threat. So that's off the table. Probably not shocking anyone in the audience who's ever heard me talk about anything ever. One is just kind of generically angry with a shade of threatened sexual assault in there. Again, probably not going to go with that one. Because, I mean, if it was just say, I'm going to fuck with you or something, or fuck you up, that's slightly different. In this case, he's not actually, like, Ocelot is not actually threatening to assault this man, but he's using the language of sexual violence to communicate the way in which he wants to do harm to this man. Not literally, but as a way of expressing yourself. So just in case that's not something that you personally are very highly attuned to, which based on your own life experiences might make sense, I just feel like I need to point that out. There's a lot of fairly commonly used phrasings that are at the very least tinged with implied, like, sexual violence. that people actually say. I don't use those expressions, and I try to ask the people around me to not use those expressions because they make me uncomfortable, and I don't like the idea of sexualized violence being normalized in that way. That's a soapbox. It's more comfortable for me to be on this soapbox than to like engage with some of the discomfort of what is happening in this game. You may have noticed that I sometimes distance myself from what is happening in the game, or the pressure or stress of a situation, by like leaning a little heavily into like rhetoric or encyclopedia or soapbox. I don't know what soapbox would be. Empathy, maybe? It's that's a Lauren coping mechanism. Occasionally Ocelot's brain will do that, and I'm like, hey, I see you, man. I do the same thing. And yeah, early 2000s comedies. There was a lot of comedy in the 90s and early 2000s that was centered around the comedy of sexual violence. But it's not funny. So it was especially common, and is still somewhat common, to have the joke be about sexual violence against a man. Har, har, har. Not funny. Just not funny. So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to pick answer 1 or 2. So things I can understand how a person wouldn't be bothered by that with 1, because it's so close to things that aren't tinged with sexual violence, but it is phrased this way intentionally. So I can either threaten to burn down his truck, or I can threaten him about the cops. Not the cops, the mob, basically. Which I know I'm not going to do, but he doesn't know I'm not going to do that. He knows that I know where his truck is. And like, I'm a cop. If I burn down his truck and he's like, that cop burned down my truck, like, what are they going to do about it? I'm a cop. What are you going to do about it, man? You've got no power compared to me. See, I'm getting into character here. I'm putting on my half-light plus authority cap of shame. Yeah, half-light is very much like one of the problems with, sorry, soapbox time. One of the problems with the policing system, the way it is in the US right now, is that the cops are literally trained to believe that the world is out to get them, and encouraged to see the world in an us versus them mentality, where anyone might be ready to jump you at a moment's notice. Anyone might be the enemy. And so kind of like, no wonder they see somebody carrying a Snickers bar and think it's a gun. Like, they have like put themselves in a permanent mindset of seeing guns everywhere. And it's kind of a known issue with the American police force. I don't know that is a known issue with police forces everywhere. But I feel like the particular phrasing of the description of Half-Light very, very clearly, in my opinion, references that specific mindset that is internalized. It's absolutely insane. So both 3 and 4 are very, very effective threats that don't cross a personal moral line on a level that I don't want to cross, even in a game, even playing pretend, even bluffing. I will bluff property damage. I don't do real life property damage. I'm actually a goody two shoes. And I could bluff arson. You don't have to know that I have a phobia of fire. That's the most straightforward one. Like, That's not getting into anything bigger. That's just straight up, if you don't tell me what I want, I will enact harm on you in a way that is not physically destructive, but will destroy your life. Do I real life threaten property damage? I did once threaten to beat somebody up with a baseball bat. And I meant it. It was one of my friend's abusive boyfriends, ex-boyfriends, and I told him if he didn't leave her alone. Yeah, I was like, if you leave her alone, I'll leave you alone. But if you don't leave her alone, I'll get my hands on something, and I'm bigger and stronger than you. He started arguing with me, and I was like, all you have to do is just stop harassing and stalking her, and you're fine. It's not a threat. Everything's fine. Yeah. That happens. I don't actually know if I could actually hit somebody with a heavy blunt object like that, because you can break bones doing that. But I could probably have beaten him up with my fists, which would have probably been more manageable for me. But he didn't have to know that I'd never hit somebody with a baseball bat before. He just needed to leave my friend alone and stop threatening, harassing, and stalking her. The moral of the story is don't harass and stalk people. It's not cool. Yeah. Now, granted, if I were with her and he attacked or something like that, then I think the fight or flight instinct might kick in there, and I might be more willing to enact harder violence that I naturally recoil from. But yeah, I think a lot of us are capable of more than we would normally do in extreme enough situations. It's just kind of about working with that and continuing to try to be your best self. But I'm also not a pacifist. I've never wanted to be a pacifist or claimed to be a pacifist. I admire pacifism. But I would still punch somebody to save my pacifist friend. Then I know my pacifist friend might get mad about it, but they don't get to make that decision for me. Anyway, that's a tangent. Anyway, yeah. I did occasionally get into fist fights when I was a small kid. I don't know that I was very effective. I'm not a very violent person. I'm really not. But I used to have really very big emotions that I hadn't learned to control. So yeah. Yeah, no, like, the thing is, people have the capacity for doing a lot worse than they realize. And that doesn't mean, like, boys will be boys, anyone would take advantage of a person or whatever. Like not that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if somebody is in a desperate situation and they take a desperate action, you cannot know for sure how you would react in that desperate situation unless you've been there. And so that's why I think it's very important to remember the humanity of people who are doing desperate things, and to try to avoid the necessity of that desperation rather than dehumanizing people who are doing desperate, horrible things. I think it is best to recognize that perhaps they are responding to a situation, and you can't say, oh, well, they're just bad and that's why they do it. That's not going to stop the bad things from happening, but changing the situation will. Yeah. I don't actually know that. Well, okay. I will tell you, when I was in middle school and high school and I was in Taekwondo, the girls didn't want to spar with me, and I held back. I tried so hard not to hit them hard at all, but the rest of the girls wouldn't spar with me. So I had to spar the men, not even the boys. And I was trying really hard. Because do I seem like somebody who would hit too hard with sparring? Like, no, that's not the situation. But apparently I hit really hard, so... so there's that. If you need to strike someone in self-defense, don't punch them if you don't know how to punch, because you might break your knuckles. You want to hit them with this part of your hand, and you want to keep your fingers back and just slam like that into their nose and stuff. Oh, man. I know. Well, I was also married to a self-defense instructor, which built some of this knowledge as well, but I already knew some stuff going into that. Also, you can hit people with your elbow, and it can actually cut the skin open. It's wild. I don't know how it happens. It just shears the skin. I don't understand. That's part of how people in MMA fights wind up bleeding sometimes in ways that, like, you're like, how did that happen? And it's like, well, their elbow just cut them open. You're like, what? It's wild. Yeah, but anyway, punching is really hard to do right, because especially like never put your thumb into a fist. Never do that. You will break your thumb. And if you have your hand at the wrong angle, you can break your wrist, you can break your knuckles, you can break your fingers. Just don't punch. Don't punch unless you like know how to punch for sure. Just there. Like that. Self-defense though. Or defense of others. But like, don't go starting shit unless you've got a really good reason for it. Like there's a Nazi at the bar, then like, okay, knock yourself out. We'll knock them out. But you know what I mean. Anyway, this has been violence with Lauren. But it's not just the hand, but it's like the wrist. This is fragile. This is fragile stuff. Just don't mess with it. Just don't. I do think that everybody should take at least a few sessions of self-defense training, just in case. At the very least, it will make you feel a bit more confident and comfortable in your own skin. And you don't need to be a good fighter to like know how to get away from a situation that's bad. Like, drop your center of gravity and shout like no and get away really loudly. And that is a pretty good start. So, and that's one of the reasons why self-defense instruction is really useful, is that it gives you opportunities to practice saying these things and doing this with your body, so that if you were to be in a bad situation, you would be better equipped to actually break through the freezing part of it and actually do something a little bit more defensive. So I think it's good. Like, you don't have to like commit to like, I'm going to take a martial art every week, but you can take specialized classes, and then like every few years just like take another class that's just like, here's like a week or two where like for a couple of hours we get together and do self-defense. Like, that can be very useful. And there are ones that specifically are taught by women for women or people of marginalized genders, if that's a comfort issue for you, and they're usually accustomed to dealing with people having trauma responses. So if that's you and that's your background, if you sign up for a program, like a training program like that, chances are the instructor will be ready to help you through that. If you have that reaction, I had that reaction, and it's okay, but it's good to kind of reclaim your own strength. Yeah. Half late, folks. It's great fun. Man. Okay. How are we gonna threaten this man? It's a bluff. For me, the player. And for Ocelot, in this circumstance, it's a bluff. But it's kind of barely a bluff, because we know at this point that he has lost control to this before. And even if he is continuing Kim's act, the barely restrained violence that comes through in all of these lines of dialogue is real. And it is something that he has to try to hold back. and at times has failed at holding back. And that knowledge makes this moment both more uncomfortable and more effective. Because if I were a character in a story with what you generally know about me, and I were to threaten someone like this, it would be like, gosh, I wonder how good Lauren is going to be at bluffing this. But we know Ocelot is capable of this shit. He has permanently disabled a person with a blunt weapon. A blunt instrument, not even a blunt weapon. So, like, yes. There is a monster that he is trying to hold back. I don't know that Kim has that monster. I think Kim was channeling genuine anger and bluffing violence. I think. That is not the circumstance for Ocelot. And it is very effective and very uncomfortable. And the fact, because they don't often animate movement and moments in this game, but when they do take the time to do that, it can really add a physicality to the scene that is really, really powerful here. So I should actually pick an answer. Kim has a lot of self-control, but he put in a threat in a way that isn't the way that he normally talks. Like he definitely was digging deep and channeling something there, you know. Because like he's the sort of person who I could see like fidgeting with his gloves and being like, you know, if you don't tell me this, like I could be coming after you. You don't know that. Let me explain to you logically why this is this way. And it could still be a threat, but like a veiled threat. But he wanted it to not come across as a veiled threat. And he has to, I think, dig deeper and do something that he is less likely to do versus Ocelot, which is just lifting off the mask and the madness rushes out. So I don't know. I don't know how the people writing this game wants to play this. And this makes me think of some of the difficulties of running a tabletop game, where you have antagonists that have like eyes on you and potential like they maybe have bugged a thing, maybe they've got spies, whatever the case may be. Anytime you have some sort of an organized antagonist in a role-playing setting, there's kind of this like give and take between the person running the game and the people playing in the game, where I feel like unless you're playing antagonistically against your players, which I think is a really not anything I want to engage with as a person in either side of the table. Do we use GM or DM these days? Like, is it Game Master? Dungeon Master? Like, what is the generic term people usually use? Because I have used both of those at different eras of my life, and I can't keep track of which one is the thing that people say now. Like, GM is what I tend to gravitate towards, but I feel like I've seen more DM lately, and I was like, do we just say that for everybody? So, okay. So the answer is there's no clear answer. Okay, well, I'll just use GM. Do you mind if I use GM? That's my preference, because I don't usually play D&D proper. I usually use some weird-ass homebrew system. So, when you're either running or playing in a game, you have to manage, like, realistically, if the antagonists are that powerful, they could be listening all the time. So there are like ways you can go around that, or you can just kind of let things slide, because whatever might be like, actually the bad guys would be able to eavesdrop on all of this stuff. It's like, but you need to let the players be able to play the game. So this would be a moment where I would have the GM and the player be able to like have an out of character moment of, is this a game in which if I shout something about Madre, someone in the vicinity is likely to hear it? Or are you as the GM going to let that slide and give me role-playing immunity for this moment? And like, do you see what I mean there? Because my concern from a plausibility, like world building realism perspective, is like, he is shouting. I am shouting. There are people shouting just up the road, making a lot of noise. So you could very easily say, there is so much noise here and nobody is paying attention to you because of the picketers, that you'll probably be fine. If you wanted to go that route. However, there are multiple powers at play that have indicated that they are aware of things I have said and done because they have eyes. So shouting like a cop shouting a general threat at a person that he's intimidating. Drunkard cop got mad and yelled at someone. Okay, we'll write that down. Okay. Apparently he's yelling at people. Maybe there's going to be violence. Somebody starts yelling about the most powerful organized crime boss in Jamrock. We might pay a little more attention to that. Word might get back to Evrart. Word might get back to Madre. Like, word might get back to who knows who else. But those are two groups that would be deeply invested in knowing that. That is information. You don't have those names publicly on your lips unless you are willing to deal with the consequences of people hearing you say them loudly. Not like in a like boogeyman, like, oh, Beetlejuice kind of way. But in order to retain power, like, you kind of have to keep tabs on who's using your name. If they're trash talking you, if they're claiming that they speak for you, whatever. Like, I am kind of concerned that if I yell for loudly, that's going to get back to Evrart and or Madre. And I don't want that. I don't want to mess with the mob, especially because, as I said earlier, I don't know what Ocelot's relationship with them is, but I bet he has one. He very well may have one. Again, I'm not just some random goon that they don't really care about. If you're looking for a weak link in the police force, seems like a man you might want to be aware of. So I think I have to, because I do not know. And I feel like Evrart said some things while I was talking to him where I'm like, you were keeping an eye, because he had the fake gardener sitting out, like literally sitting in the street to keep an eye and say, the man went there and then he went there and then he talked to this guy. Like, I'm pretty sure Evrart specifically referenced that there had been eyes on me on the first day. He has enough people here that he's going to continue to have eyes on me. Okay, so I'm threatening some racist guy. I mean, my cop is a person of color. This guy's maybe being racist too. All right, okay, fine, whatever. Make note of it. But it's not a giant neon flag. So based on this strategically, I am strategically metagaming my choice based on my understanding of the world and my expectations of like the dangers that we are surrounded by. This is a way that I would approach this if I were doing tabletop role-playing. And I may be super overthinking everything. And it may be that the mob's not even going to show up in this game. It may be that, like, this conversation exists in a vacuum and none of this is going to come back to haunt you. And so you folks might be thinking in your little spoiler chat, like, where is she getting this from? Look, I would not be Lauren if I wasn't actively overthinking literally everything in this game. So, we're going to take the direct, mundane threat. Not invoke the mob loudly, because Kim invoked the mob quietly. So somebody could see us be paying attention to that and could potentially eavesdrop that, although we are in a loud space. But I'm not going to go yelling about that. So we're going to say, I've been to your fucking Lorry. I know where it is. I'm going to burn it down. You hear me? I point at it. It's right there. We're going to do that. You ready?
Look, fuck you, man. It's some Lorry down there. Green, banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is.
He tries to wave you off. Okay. Green banged up thing. Good to know. He's trying to wave me off. And yet maybe, like, I don't have your name, so I can't invoke the mob against you would feel less threatening. Although I don't know that this man is in a frame of mind to point that out, but he might be. But this, to me, feels like this is the safest for me choice. So we're going to go with it. It may come back and bite me in the ass. Like, the union leader for Lorry's might be like, so I heard you threatened to burn my guy's stuff down. And I'll be like, I'm a cop. What are you going to do about it? Yay! All right.
When did she go away?
Oh, good. Kim is satisfied with how this went. He is coming in for the kill.
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days.
Yeah, I'm not entirely clear on what the level of homophobia here is. But cool. I will once again point out to everybody. Oh, look at that. My hat got impaled on my pride flag, and the chat hat is in fact a lesbian flag. Sideways. So we don't fuck with homophobia here. Queerphobia. I guess that's a more inclusive term about lack of inclusivity. All right.
Now it's not a big deal for him anymore. This is how he saves face.
He saves face. Okay. So instead of being like, I'm intimidated, he's like, well, I don't care anyway. All right, buddy. Where exactly is her Lorry?
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now, leave me the fuck alone, okay?
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
He turns to you. Okay.
Looks like he got his adrenaline up, too.
Right, I'm going. Okay. Well, I didn't punch a man in the face. I just grabbed him and threatened arson and property damage. So that could have been worse. I suppose so. Hold on. We gotta change our clothes again. I'm gonna wear... What am I gonna wear? What am I gonna wear? I don't want half light. We're gonna not do half light. We're gonna put on no half light. Don't think I need physical instrument. I'm gonna take that off. Drama does not need any encouragement, so I'm just gonna leave it right here. Yes, pointing the gun at the child. Like, that's the thing, is they have to have constructed, like, Ocelot's background has to encompass enough that it is plausible that he would point a gun at a child in some playthroughs. And it also has to be plausible that he intervenes to save a child from her, like, borderline abusive situation with her mother, on the other hand. So... really, some very interesting writing. Very interesting writing. All right. Let's see. Don't make yourself too comfortable. I can swear it's Disco Elysium. Fuck off, man. We're gonna go listen to some good music. I'm so glad I didn't have to mess with my friend here. Do I want to? I don't want to try. I'm gonna have my poet shirt on. This is my poetry shirt, I've decided. I'll see if I can get a few more things that do conceptualization. I think I had something else maybe, but we're gonna keep an eye out. I guess I need to get more clothes. It really does make a difference. It really does. Like, you really do kind of have to change your gear to have different experiences. Like, it really affects... Oh, hold on. Oh, I'm out of control. I need to keep authority in check. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Goodbye, authority. Go away. Take that. That's very important. A Shivers run. Oh, that's exciting. Well, don't tell me anything. This is my first playthrough, so no spoilers. No spoilers and no backseating. And I'm pretty extreme about my no spoilers policy, so my apologies to everyone. I want to be able to put more points into Shivers, but I have put as many points into Shivers as I'm currently permitted. But I'll keep an eye out so I can have I'll see if I can get my Spidey gear, because it's my Spidey sense. But I put a point in perception. I've put a bunch of points in reaction speed. I've done some stuff that's physically based, just mostly not. I have my priorities. Have we done all the cases in the ledger? I don't know. Have we? Oops. The ledger of failure and hatred. Well, let's save before we mess with anything. It didn't save my frowny face on the talk to a racist. Okay, well, now I know that I can't use colons. I'll have to use equal signs. This game is very intense, and it's extra... I've mentioned this before. It's extra intense to do in front of an audience, but... There we go. We didn't actually punch him, but it's fine. I'll remember that. What was I doing? Oh, right. Let's see what else is in here.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Alright, let's browse the case files again.
Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse. Handwritten logs on dozens of investigations date back to January 51. Stamped case files. Commit to paper. These are your last couple of months in Revachol. Precinct 41. Jamrock Quarter.
Yes, Jamrock Quarter. Okay, that's what it is. Thank you for the follow, Eason P. Was there a case that but I don't see anything for, like, how do I get to other cases? Because yeah, I needed to take a break after the case with the clipboard. But okay, yes, so I now have an understanding of Jamrock Quarter, what that means. We are in, what, March 51? There's mention of a naming convention.
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples.
I don't think that conceptualization spoke up last time. I don't think I had enough points in conceptualization. There have been a number of games that I think are very much works of art. But I also largely play emotional, story-driven games, so... Yeah, I don't know that we've seen television in this. We know that radio exists, but I don't know that we've seen television. I don't know that it exists in this universe. Oh my, and they're written in capital letters too.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Others appear more light-hearted. The Guys on a Couch in an Unexpected Location.
That's a great name.
And The Murder at the Hookah Parlour. Even the rare article-free Collapsing Tenement. Murder features prominently throughout.
I want to play Pentiment. That is definitely on my list. My friends have recommended that one so thoroughly. Without spoiling it or anything like that. They've just said, you need to play it. And I think it's not very long, so... Alright, murder features prominently throughout. Yay!
It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together.
Okay.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers.
Oh, read
They're
a
a little
case file.
further from your nose now.
Okay, we're going to read a case file.
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
Oh, I might actually acquire Thought sometime soon. There's a Thought imminent. Yeah, well, we can look at the murder at the Hookah Parlour. I don't remember what the couch in an unexpected location was, but that's okay. I don't remember anything. Neither does Ocelot, so we're all on the same page. It's great. All right, murder at the Hookah Parlour.
Murder. Tum 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 at the Hookah Parlour was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the Hookah Parlour.
Okay. Wait, how is he dead? Like, you have to tell me that. You can't just say it's not important. Obviously, now I need to know. I have not played Orwell Keeping an Eye on You. That sounds like that's inspired by 1984, which I read when I was younger and found deeply unrealistic. Even though apparently some of the parts that I thought were most unrealistic were actually based on reality. So, woo! Teenage Lauren underestimating authoritarian fascism. And how out of its way it would go to be petty and damaging to people. Alright, wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the Hookah Parlour.
Like, it's just like a little offhand, like no big deal, just 2 of your colleagues got beaten to death by a gang. By the way, don't forget, you work in Jamrock. This happens. And that sort of thing. Like, you can see from just these cases, which these are just cases from the past few months, how this would traumatize a human brain. It's pretty clear, like, this is an ongoing traumatic environment. Right, on with the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills.
That is a saying my mom uses.
Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the Hookah Parlour. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Okay, but was he, like, actually trying, or was there something else that he was getting out of not solving it? Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn Hookah Parlour was all he talked about.
Well, I'm glad that it's baked into the narration to really hate rapey jokes. Thank you, Harry, for having a brain that by default is not okay with rapey jokes. That's nice. That's a good thing. It's a really low bar. Although, as we were just discussing earlier tonight on this very stream, there was a period of time that rapey jokes were super common and mainstream. But hey, Harry has to be able to encompass a lot of good and bad things, and it's nice to see his brain draw a line and be like, yeah, that's really bad and gross. Like, unless that line isn't in there, if you've chosen creepy options that maybe are presented to you, because I just don't take creepy options. I don't know. But this is interesting. And you'll notice because there's like 11 billion lines of dialogue, so I don't ever fault the actor for a slight misread, or fault the audio director for not causing a reread to fix the misreads or even necessarily catching them all. But I have to point them out because literally my job has been to catch misreads. So it should be that the murderer vanished into thin air. Instead, he just read that murderer vanished into thin air. It changes things a little bit. Grammatically, it throws off the parallel. Inconsequential, we all know what he means. The text is there. You just have to deal with that. All right, so why was he so obsessed with this Hookah Parlour, this uncrackable case that he took a month and a half to work on, but he wasn't good at being a cop? Harry was not impressed with him as a cop.
Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlour. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavoured vapour all day.
This feels like the most in character answer. I'm sorry. Can you get high off of it? I'm just asking.
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
I figured that's probably what was going to happen here, but I feel like I had to ask that anyway. It was clear that cool or stupid are the actual answers, so this felt like this was like a throwaway additional answer, but also it felt like the in-character thing. So yes, electrochemistry. We have to indulge it when it's safe to do so. Role-playing. It's stupid. I have nothing against hookah parlors. Like, whatever, that's fine. You do your thing. But I think Ocelot would be like, that's dumb and you're not even getting high. I don't know. Really stupid. Some of these kids these days do.
Yeah. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer.
So the way that it says yeah at the end, like, it does not matter which of those answers you picked. Like, whatever. Like, there's literally no change, I bet, which is nice. Like, the narrator just, like, does not. It's like, whatever. I'm telling you the story. Stop asking dumb questions and interrupting. Let me just tell you what this is. Okay. Young man in his 20s, a movie producer in great health, has his skull busted open. No one else is there. Dang it, I assume nothing fell on him or whatever.
No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be?
All right, I'm sorry. So in this case, there was actually a typo in the writing, dead on floor, but the narrator wisely made the executive decision to go ahead and correct that typo. It's not a misread. I'm sorry. I've been paid to do this. I've spent many hours of my life proofing things. Not games, books, but still. It's a skill that I cannot turn off, so I'm subjecting you all to it. So you can tell me which skill that would be. All right. This is a mystery. I wonder whether Ocelot gets to the bottom of it.
Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low, heavy, really sharp edge.
Oh my god, Mills! Because I was like, surely if it was just the guy could have bashed his own head open, like, they would have noticed something. He sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table, and died. Yeah. Yeah, he's lightheaded from it, or he trips or something like that.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
Wow, okay. He must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
That little bit of detail there. Well, the thing is, it's that the edges of the table were sharp, and he like managed to fall at the right angle to hit his head on that sharp angle, or on that sharp edge. Would be the guess. Skulls are pretty resilient, but like head wounds also bleed a lot. So yeah, sometimes you have bad luck. Sometimes you roll badly. And what was he doing there for 6 hours? Because yeah, if he passes out, then the full weight of his body is going at the edge. So, yeah, it could happen. What's he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlour. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next.
Okay, I guess we're done. Joseph Mills was clearly not a good detective, yeah. Have you seen how much head wounds bleed? It's a lot. If you're ever taking care of a kid and the kid gets a cut on their head, you cannot let the child see any of it because it bleeds so much that they will lose their mind, even if it's just a very, very light surface wound. So if it's actually a gash, like if you actually manage to like gash yourself really hard because you passed out and hit your head on a blunt, like on a sharp object, like on your skull somewhere, it's going to bleed really bad. And if you're already unconscious and the blood is gushing out of you, like, yeah, that could kill you. It's intense. Head wounds are not to be messed with. So yeah, try not to pass out. I am less at risk of passing out now that my iron levels are better. All right, I can revisit this. I guess that's everything.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
I did open the hidden drawer, didn't I? Isn't the hidden drawer where I found the card? Or is that something else? Okay. We'll take a look. Slide the hidden drawer open.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, you see 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Just the existence of 3 and the way that it's just slipped in there with these otherwise very matter-of-fact statements of action says a lot about this as a trigger for his state of mind. I'm going to close the permeables compartment.
It's slightly, ever so slightly.
Okay, well, cool. Cool. Gotta keep authority in check. Inland Empire out of control. Oh. The Jam Mystery. Search through the lady driver's lorry cabin near the monument. Okay. Maybe I'll even level up at some point. Okay, they told me... Okay, so here's the monument. It can't be the pale driver. She's too old. Ah, here we go. It's this one down here. All right. Oh, the schedule in the about section, I'm sure it's outdated. I always forget that exists. I should probably do something about that. What games does it say I'm playing? How many years has it been? What's the question? How many years has it been since I updated that? Which games does it list? I'm a professional streamer. Hades. Oh, that's not that long ago. That's not that long ago. That's like last year. I think. Right? Because I played Hades and Horizon Zero Dawn at the same time, right? Oh, wait. Suikoden 2? Oh, no, that was a while ago. Oh, I haven't played Final Fantasy 14 in like a year and a half or 2 years or something like that. Yeah, that's like 3 years old. I feel like I need to have like a manager to like hold my hand and keep track of things like that for me, because like I cannot. And then I was living in this apartment, I think, when I beat Suikoden 2, so I think that means that it's less than 3 years. It's been less than 3 years. Chat with a manager hat. Maybe so. Oh man, Gothic Netlord. That was on the list for the returners to cover. Because we do the chase, the battle with Luca Blight. And I was like, we should make a little medley and add Gothic Netlord because it's one of the coolest songs. And we have a keyboardist. But we have not gotten around to it. So maybe one day. Are you ready for some breaking and entering? Are we going to do this? How do we feel about this, folks? By the way, like, breaking and entering is not generally good or legal. You're just probably supposed to not do that. So maybe don't. Alright. Does breaking and entering like this count as property damage? I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see if I have to, like, actually break it. Is it legal when the cops do it, or is it just the cops do it anyway?
This screen found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead.
Oh.
It's seen better days.
Maybe this is the wrong one, actually. Maybe this is a different one.
This must be the one he told us about. Unless he was lying.
The lieutenant peeks inside. Try to peek in the window.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust.
Huh.
You can barely make out the shape of a seat and 2 steering levers.
Yeah, the steering levers make it like just, it's a very different way of driving a vehicle. And just like everything about it, like the axles of the cars, like just the placement, the shape of things, everything just looks alien. It's great.
It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
Try the door handle. You never know.
The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
Huh, that's interesting. Run-down truck, but shiny handles. If you keep your truck run down, then people don't think there's something in there to steal. But you want to have nice door handles so that people can't just easily sneak their way into it. How are we going to get this open, Kim?
Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside.
Really?
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
Kim is like, I just want to go right in there and do this. Oh, okay. That's not going to happen. Tool not equipped. I'm going to look for an alternative just in case. Because that's definitely property damage. She'll notice. What was I going to, there's something else I was going to do. I kind of want to go talk to Tommy and just, I mean, Tommy has said leave me out of it. Tommy doesn't want to know about it. Maybe, okay, fine. I have complained that there's not enough property damage in the games that I'm playing these days. I should probably stop complaining and do my property damage. I really should ask more people about the tattoos. Yes, that's it. And Polaroid of a tattoo. Okay, well, let's do it.
This screen found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
Man, Zed is fun. I still have a very low chance of getting it. I'm a big buff man. That's true. It's not 0. We're gonna save. And then... Let's do this, shall we?
This screen found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
Alright, we're gonna try to smash in this window. We're not gonna succeed. There's like no way. I put on my physical instrument. I put on my gym shirt. I have a gym shirt. That is as much as I've got. That is as buff as I get. If I wear the shirt that went to the gym, it's like I went to the gym, right? Smash the window in with a pry bar. Nobody's gonna notice.
With a firm grip, you raise the pry bar, a glint of light catching on the tip. Call down the hammer of truth and justice. Release your secrets, Lorry.
I mean, to be fair, this is not the lowest percentage that I have succeeded at. I think that was 8%. Okay, well, apparently Lauren's points and property damage in video games carried over and transferred to give Ocelot an unseen bonus. Well, thank you for the subscription. I feel like we need a property damage emote, but I don't know what it would look like. Oh, man. Okay. So I can smash it. I can say, fuck the police, and then smash it. I can say, welcome to Revachol, window, and smash it. Or I can say, I'm sorry, and then smash it apologetically. Yeah, to be fair, Sophie's violence is pretty good for property damage, but it's not specifically property damage. Or rather, it's not me damaging property. She broke my Christmas ornaments that year. Oh, man. Yeah, maybe we should just clip all of the lucky rolls and just make like the lucky rolls compilation. That would be really funny. 4th is definitely the most in character for Sorry Cop. Just say it. Don't I have something with Sorry Cop that I'm not activating? I've like said no to my Sorry Cop. Sorry, cop. Cop. Fuck the police is a really funny one to say. Because I am the police. I'd just be covering my trail in case somebody hears this. They'll hear, fuck the police, and then it gets broken. Clearly it wasn't a cop that did it. Yes, rigorous self-critique. Ah, yes, we had a conversation about that. Welcome to Revachol, window. That sounds like you're trying to say something like you're being like a movie character. And the word window stands in for like some sort of a R-rated insult swear. Or I could apologize. I can do it with style, I can do it without style, or I can do it with the opposite of style. I kind of want to be punk rock. If Kim asks me about it, I'm just covering our tracks in case anyone eavesdrops. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, the welcome to Revachol is actually, yeah, that seems to be what racists say. No, that's fair. But we could be punk rock right here with fuck the police. I don't know why we would do that. I have no idea besides I wanted to cover so that people know that the cops didn't do it. But I could apologize. I don't remember what... Oh, I guess disco, yeah. I don't know whether saying fuck the police is disco. It's very punk rock. But I don't know if it's disco. I'm thinking. Do we have any evidence for disco being fuck the police? We can invent punk rock right here, right now. Yes. Okay, look. Smashing things and shouting fuck the police is very good. Very good punk rock energy. Because see, it's like no style, yes style, racism, anti-style. Oh. Two is just such a strange choice that I want to pick it. The clown shoes, they're tempting me. Oh, that's true. Yeah, if you added baby, that would be right. Yeah. All right, chat. I keep getting people commenting every so often, like, why don't you pick the funny answers? And I'm like, I have no sense of humor. But this one, I think I'm gonna pick this one. Fuck the police.
The window shatters and droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement.
Cool. Kim's gonna have questions about that one.
Subtle.
Says the lieutenant and sticks his hand in the window like a common car thief and then opens it. Kim did not approve of that. If I was professional and businesslike and I just did my job, he would be like, that's fine. Because that's what he told me to do. He's just like, we were doing so well. What is wrong with you? Oh, no. In my defense, I would say Ocelot's probably still got a lot of adrenaline going on from the encounter we just had in which he threatened to burn a man's livelihood down. Let's continue.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Interesting. I want to look at everything. Admire the posters. Pretty ladies. Is she actually gay? If she's got pretty ladies? Does she just appreciate pretty ladies? I appreciate pretty ladies. Admire the posters.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century.
So this is a true film buff. Interesting.
One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
Well, that does answer that question. That is interesting. All right, Ocelot. I am curious what you'll uncover, what you will see. Study the centerfold. I hadn't even thought about the fact that... Okay, so this has been one of the weirdest things about moving away from American English to a place with non-American English, is that the words that have... What is an ER for us? Like, the RE, like, gets changed in the middle of them, and sometimes it's just very disconcerting. Study the centerfold.
The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera.
So this is like classy centerfold here. An autograph from an old poster.
A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps. And gentle tragedy.
Yes, soft, vulnerable feelings about women being comfortable to be themselves, relaxed around you. That would be a past self that is lost to you, my man. Just continue.
This is Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic, untimely death.
Thank you, Encyclopedia. I appreciate that. What happened to her?
She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here, on Boogie Street, a mixture of cocaine and morphine. She was afraid of the world, and the camera, too.
That's very real. There've been a lot of actors with problems with drugs. But it is interesting if this is a drug smuggler whose particular choice of centerfold over her back seat, where she presumably sleeps / hooks up with people, is somebody known for dying of drug complications from drug addiction. And yes, she was afraid. That is a straightforward typo. People being like afraid of people being so damaged by their job that they have to turn to drugs to cope with it. Not anything that you can relate to, Ocelot. Certainly not. Anyway, enough of the posters.
The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard, and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
Okay, well maybe she's some flavor of bi, but has a preference. She can appreciate the occasional dude. Let us examine the radio. No, we're gonna check the pedals.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver.
It's true, Ocelot is a bi disaster, so he can understand other bisexual disasters. Okay, so it's interesting because she has a toolbox, but then she just has a pile of tools that are not in the toolbox, you know?
But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
Okay. Is that a drug thing?
Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Oh, I'm going to point that out. I love that you then have the option to say exactly what your logic has put together here. Thank you, logic. Looks like the driver has glued a piece of sandpaper to the throttle to offer some extra grip. That's interesting. So that's a steering wheel, I guess.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
The sandpaper would also rub off the pattern from the driver's right boot sole. Oh. Oh. The throttle is the pedal. Oh.
Yes?
He likes where this is going.
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it to yourself.
Oh, he's so excited that I'm using my detective skills. I'm excited that I'm using my detective skills. I did actually remember that's one of the reasons why we were asking to see the bottom of people's boots. One of the footprints at the crime scene had an aberration. One sole was smoother than the other. That was even one of the guesses as to why that could happen. I remember that. I remember one of the guesses was something about a pedal, I think. I feel like that. Okay.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
The lieutenant's eyes light up behind his prescription lens. Okay. So not a drummer. No, probably not. But he could be. Yeah, looking at the soul of the racist lorry driver does remind you of, oh yeah, Souls of Boots. Good design. So I can say. And she's also the one running the drug trade. What a handful. Or, first the drug smuggling, now this. How deep does this rabbit hole go? Or, women, always up to something. So we'll put the misogyny away. No, none of that. The first two options are basically saying the same thing. But one of them is like calling her a handful, I think. And the other one is just investigating the situation. So I'm going to go with 2 because that's one I like the best. First, the drug smuggling. Now this. How deep does this rabbit hole go? Because that is very interesting. I wondered if these plot threads were going to tie together. If this investigation was going to... if this investigation was going to be connected to that investigation. I'm glad that they are, because that's interesting. Also, we're going to have to proceed with caution. Because if she's smuggling drugs for the mob, that's great. That's wonderful. We need 2 mobs. Two organized crimes. Wonderful. Okay, 2. First, the drug smuggling, now this. How deep does this rabbit hole go?
We've identified one of the footprints, but there are still 7 to go.
He writes something in his little blue notebook.
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a pull-out toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
So she works on her own truck, which kind of checks out with this kind of person. I'm getting an idea in my head of what she's like, and I suspect that I would like her a lot as a character, so we'll see what we can do. We'll see if that holds true. And if so, we'll see if we can help her somehow. Untangle herself from the situation in which she's gotten herself. I guess we should examine the radio. I just don't want to like accidentally call a thing, but I think that we're going to have a chance to investigate everything. I suspect the toolbox is where we're going to find what we're looking for. So let's examine the radio.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent.
Oh.
It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed. Likely by the missing lady driver.
Okay, so you can't use her radio if she's not here for scenarios exactly like this. Interesting.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Oh, okay. Why would anyone need so many radio stations? Probably because she really likes listening to music. And movies. I'm curious about this. I wonder whether she's... Because we've got the pale driver who's constantly talking about movies. I wonder whether this woman's had a little bit of pale poisoning as well. Why would anyone need so many radio stations?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example.
Oh!
This is all shortwave, UW and UKV.
Okay, never mind. I just was thinking of the wrong kind of radio. I was thinking about listening to the radio, not like talking to a whole lot of different people. So she has a ton of contacts.
Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation, with quite a range too.
Interesting. Okay, so that's actually... That makes sense more with the line of dialogue about she leads and organizes this stuff. Like, she has a lot of people that she can talk to here. And I wonder that if she doesn't drive much, if she doesn't actually do the smuggling, but she coordinates things with other people, that would explain why there's so much dust in the windows. Because you can't drive with that much dust in your windows. That's dangerous. But if she lives here and just leaves her truck here and coordinates things from her truck, then it can be like her cozy little home that she stays in, and it doesn't have to be safe to drive, and the dust can keep it hidden. You don't see what's going on in there. Interesting. Is there anything we can do with the radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
Okay, well that's definitely not going to come up ever again. Can we take a photo of it? Please, Kim? What else is here?
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old toolbox under the seat.
This is much less poetic in its description than previously. Pull out the pull-out toolbox.
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
The sound effects of things sliding, like that gives it, like they don't animate things. You don't see it happening, but that makes it feel like it's actually happening. It's much more immersive. I like that. Okay. Unfold the newspaper.
It's an issue of Peripherique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Pick up the note.
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
Kim, I'm going to need you to explain this because you've got a better brain for this than I do.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
His thought trails off. Okay, well, thank you, Kim. You are the person that I need to have this knowledge. We're going to have to investigate this clearly. Push in the pull-out toolbox.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Radio, posters, a trace of motor oil smell under all the cigarettes.
I don't think there's anything in here that I haven't done. Close the door.
You close the rusty old lorry door.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
He steps away from the lorry. Okay. So he wants to talk to me. All right. Do I have clothes? I probably could have put logic, visual calculus. This might have actually been more useful. Yeah, actually I should have put on my visual calculus jacket in case that would have helped me see something or make some sense of it. That's fine. I was so busy thinking about exploding this thing. And interfacing gloves. I don't remember what interfacing does. What does interfacing do again? Oh. Technology. Okay. Because I don't know at this point.
This found A to Z, abandoned by the smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with a metallic drawer. It's an issue of, it looks like an art.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before.
The pull-out toolbox slides back
Okay,
into
so
its
there's
net.
nothing else I
Looks
can
like
do.
Strange. There are so many radio. For contact, looks like we are dealing with an...
the smell of 1,000 cigarettes. You wedge yourself, but one odd deep sandpaper adds extra grip. The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. You close the rusty old lorry door.
Okay, so I think I've done everything there is to do in there. Because I don't know if you can unlock stuff the second time through. I don't know if that's how it works. You can put on your clothes and then go to a thing that you've already looked through and see if you can roll better dice rolls that time around. I don't know if that's how this game works, but it was worth trying. Well, we can talk to Kim, see how long that goes. We're gonna try this. See how it goes. You say it's not a long talk, but don't underestimate me. Report back to Joyce. Or I could present her with my badge. But I don't know if I want her to have that information. Alright. Let's talk to Kim.
Alright, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Seems like something police would do. What do you think of all this, Kim?
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation.
Yes, this is not something we really want to tangle with, but it does seem to be caught up with our murder, so that's not good.
I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net.
Or she could just be friends with everybody and she just wants to talk to everybody. She could just be very social. We've been told that she is scary and nobody wants to talk to her.
This means it's well funded. Technology like that, a major player must be financing it.
Right, right.
I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Or it could have something to do with the Pale. I feel like there's something about the way that don't they like fire frequencies through to create like a path through the Pale or something like that? I don't know. What about the movie posters? How do they factor into this? I'm going to ask, how do you think this is connected to the Union? Because I don't know if I'll get to ask all of these questions, and that's one that I'm very interested in.
We didn't find anything conclusive linking them to the smuggling operation. But somehow, I doubt that Evrart Claire would be oblivious to something like this happening right under his nose.
That's probably true. I feel like if I'd had the right things and the right brain, maybe I would have made a stronger link, but I don't have that, so...
My suggestion is, we use it against the Union in any way we can, to our own ends. It's a slippery hill, but we just might be able to pin them down, indirectly, down the road.
Yeah, so he's like, don't just go to Evrart and challenge him right now. This is a thing to put in our pocket for now, which is good advice, Kim.
In short, this is a future angle. Possibly a good one.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, so they do broadcast signals. Thank you. Okay, I wasn't sure if I was misremembering, but that's the impression that I have. What about the movie posters? How do they factor into all this?
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
A lot of women there, especially for a lady driver's cabin. Maybe the trader is some sort of cinephile. Or could the film industry be involved? I'm going to say maybe the trader is some sort of cinephile. That would be good to know, honestly. That's getting to understand the people that we're dealing with. It could be useful.
Yes, well...
He doesn't say more.
Unimportant.
Okay, I'm going to ask more. I'm going to dig more into this.
As elegant as they are,
A lot of women
I don't
there.
think they are relevant to the drug trade.
Especially for a lady driver's cabin. I'm going to see what happens if we ask this.
Yes, well...
Unimportant.
Okay. His response, Kim's response to this. Ocelot is clueless about his feelings about Martin Martinez. And so Ocelot has this slight fixation on, there's a woman who has pictures of beautiful women in her spot. That's interesting. Kim, that's interesting. Kim, why do you think that is? And Kim is just like, you know, he'll figure it out in his own time. All right. Will the RCM open an investigation into this?
We should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it.
Okay.
There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
He stops to think. What are you thinking? We're gonna get caught in it anyway, Kim. If this woman was present at the lynching, then she is folded into our case, and there's not much we can do about that. So we may not want to actively, aggressively target this drug situation, but whatever is involved with it is something we're going to have to be cautious about anyway, because it is a presence in our case. What are you thinking, Kim?
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madre grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Corruption. Yeah, no, that is a fair point. If this is big enough, somebody surely will have gotten wind of it. If Joyce has heard about it, surely we would have heard about this, maybe. Corruption?
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
Are you trying to protect the corrupt cops with this line? I don't know. I think that's everything I'm going to get from this. I'm going to see if he wells with
elegant,
this.
I'm going to say no.
Whether the film industry can be involved. Amazing. Okay. I think that's all the answers that I can ask.
We
Yes.
didn't find any. My suggestion.
In short, this
we
is a
already got
future
this.
angle. Possibly a good one.
Alright, so this will be useful for us eventually. Okay, debrief over.
Debrief over. After you.
Okay, yeah, even for Lauren, that was a short one. Time is it? 12:22. Yeah, reaction speed is I really like it. I really like it. It's a good one. Oh, hold on. I should probably not. Smashed window with my gardening gloves? Ha! No, certainly not. I would never punch a hole through a window with my gardening gloves. All right. So, yeah. I'll keep putting more points into perception, I think, because I think I want that. I think I want perception and volition. I think perception, volition, and possibly one of these two. Hold on, now that I have a better understanding of stats and clothing and how they all fit together, I'm gonna... I want to just take a quick look at Sealang's stuff for sale. Especially because I have some stuff that I think I might want to sell. So I might be able to actually have some money. But I'm not going to buy it right now, but I'm going to think about what I might want. Alright. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, it looked like the poet was saying officer a minute, but I don't know if that's just his thing that he usually says all the time.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes. Keep saving that economy.
Oh, Jesus. These raise your half-light? I don't think I will. I don't think I will do that, thanks.
The speakers below are banged up and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them. They're the star of the show here.
Reaction speed and hand-eye coordination. Those are really expensive. Thought he had, yeah, okay, I was gonna say, thought he had one more set. He does, in fact, have one more set.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Okay, electrochemistry, no logic. Negative perception plus Inland Empire. I don't need help with Inland Empire. I could... Shades of Self-Destruction, God. I don't know. I could have use for more... I don't know. I feel like... I'm gonna go in here real quick. And I just want to look and just look at some stuff. This is purely from like a meta gameplay perspective.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table.
The headless
Some on
Fallen
horseback,
Rider.
others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms.
I wonder.
All are stern and unyielding in their duty.
This is cheap, and I wonder what I could use it for. Oh, here we go.
The boomboxes wait on the shelves.
The boombox
And your
is expensive.
boombox, that gold and amber Harmon Waushi, stares at you longingly with its tape reel eyes.
So, I don't know if I commented on this last time because I literally don't remember. But I think it is clear. I mean, we know that Ocelot likes disco, clearly. Like, disco is like a thing. But the fact that he knows the brand of this boombox and he knows that he wants this boombox, he covets this boombox. He's a guy who likes, like, he's a person who knows a boombox brand.
A typical Martinez streetlight
Holy
sits
crap.
among assorted floor and table lamps.
That's a lot of money. Okay. Well, no thanks. So if I want the boombox so that I can practice my sad song, that's gonna be $12. And I currently have 17. And I have some stuff I could sell. But these postcards are worth very little. I have $14. Okay, even worse. Oh, I still need to go back and do some more stuff with that. The shot put ball. Like, these are things that are worth enough money to, like, almost be able to get a night's sleep with them. So I'm kind of like, are these rusty, banged up, in bad shape things sources of income? Is that their purpose in the game? I wonder. You can't sell the racist mug, tragically. Handwritten note from the fridge. Oh, the giant ice bear fridge, right? That's why I call it a fridge, even though it's a freezer. Got it. Okay, well. This dude's like, why did you stop here? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna think on it. Yeah, I will probably put on the chat hat if I have questions about what I can or should not sell. But there's also, like, I want to see if, like, there's, like, different conversations, for example, with the old men, and stuff. Like, there's a bunch of things to explore still, too. Man, I wonder if I get that little toy in that room, if that's a thing that I could, like, give to Kuno to make him happy. But at this point, the next course of action should be to go talk to Joyce one way or another. And I can give her this information, or I can show her my badge. I can do either of those two things. I now have two paths. At some point, I should probably talk to Evrart's goons. I really don't want to talk to Evrart's goons. Evrart's goons are related to Evrart, and last time I talked to Evrart, he tried to kill me with a chair. So. So. I think that we're going to save, and I will figure out, but I did level up. I did put a point into things. What do we want to call this? What sounds much more violent and brutal? Well, the thing is, the game told me not to go exploring too far down the coast. And I know that at some point I'll want to do that so I can go find What's-Her-Face's husband. Oh, you mean the chair, right? Like he just jumps down and thwacks me with a folding chair. No, I sat in the chair until I died. So I will keep you posted about next week's stream because it does depend. Like, what is that going to be? That's going to be. Let me check my calendar. Because I will be in Texas next week, which does not necessarily mean no stream. That's the 21st. Okay. I could conceivably, if my mom is still teaching piano in the evenings, then I'll try to stream next week. If it turns out that she's not, then we will postpone the streams until the following. We'll take some time off. Basically, don't 100% count off on it, but don't write it off. I will let you know on Monday. I'll try to let everyone know, like Monday, what the plans are going to be for next week. We will be taking some time off while my family is home and I am home. And I will actually be in Texas for several weeks. There is 1 week that I will be off because I am going to be at MagFest on Thursday. So, if you're going to MagFest, I will be leading a panel on Thursday, Overcoming Shyness and Making Friends. You should come to it. I would love to meet folks. I'll talk about that more in a future stream, though, because that's way off. Take care of yourselves, folks, and we will see each other soon-ish, I guess. Thank you, as always, for your patience. We made progress. We made progress. Isn't that great? Good night. Bye.